Tonight, we are learning more about what led up to yesterday's shooting that left 4 APD officers injured. We're also learning more about the suspect and his criminal past. News 13's Rachel Knapp is live on Wantabo near Lomas with the very latest. Rachel?
Dean, police say the suspect was involved in another crime just down the street from here. Officers were able to catch up with him in a nearby alleyway, but it all ended here in a shootout at the Dutch Bro Coffee. Now, just a warning, some of the cell phone video in this story can be hard to watch. An Albuquerque teen says he was walking along Central near Western Skies yesterday morning when 2 men approached him asking if he wanted to buy drugs. When he said no, police say one of them pulled out a gun, pointed it at the teen's head, and took his wallet, backpack, a PlayStation that was in his backpack, shoes, and a necklace. The teen called police after he searched and found the 2 men near Wantabo and Copper. Officers James Eichel and Mario Verbeck chased the pair on foot through an alleyway near the Dutch Bros Coffee. Police say one of the men, 27-year-old James Ramirez, pulled out a gun and fired at officers, hitting Officer Verbeck in the neck above his bulletproof vest and Officer Eichel in the forearm. Both officers were able to fire back at Ramirez. All of a sudden I see 2, the suspects. Johnny Garcia was in his backyard. Before I know it, there's two policemen coming and saying, "Police, freeze, on the ground." Before you know it, no more than 2 seconds later, the gunshots just started going off. Both Officer Verbeck and Officer Eichel were seriously injured. After the gunshots stopped, I seen one cop running and he said, yelling, "I need a tourniquet." Garcia was worried after not seeing Verbeck, so he jumped over his fence and found him lying on the ground. So I got him, I picked him up, I put his back up against the wall, and I called out on his walkie-talkie and his radio to the officer down. I said it a couple of times, and I told him that he's really hurt. But he couldn't wait for help.
Hey, you got him, man?
A nearby construction worker captured Garcia helping the officer to safety.
I could tell one side of his arm was limp, and he was helping him out through here, and they helped him out across the street, and the ambulance came and they picked him up.
As that was going on, APD Officer Harry Gunderson and Sergeant Sean Kenny arrived to the Dutch Bros, spotting Ramirez, yelling for him to put down his gun. But they say Ramirez refused and started shooting at them. Today, you can see several of the bullet holes in a wall by the coffee shop. Sergeant Kenny was hit in the chest. APD says his bulletproof vest saved his life. Officer Gunderson was hit in the face with glass as he ducked for cover behind his police cruiser. As Ramirez continued to fire rounds at the officers, they say officers fired back, eventually hitting Ramirez. He was taken to UNMH where he is in stable condition. Police say they found the teenage robbery victim's wallet and ID on Ramirez. Officer Verbeck is still in critical condition tonight. 2 other officers are stable, but they're still in the hospital. Sergeant Kenny has been released. Back to you.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Police say they're also expecting federal charges to be filed in this case. Ramirez has a criminal history out of California. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison for burglary back in 2017. He served 2 years and then was on parole. That parole ended in February of this year.